Republicans are going to take over the Senate, and by quite a large margin. I wanted to spell this out for you and give you a sense for how these races are going. Once again, my rule is if an incumbent is under 50, they're in serious trouble because the undecided vote usually goes against them. So you start off with 2 seats the Republicans need 4 to get control. You start off with 2 that they're certain to win. North Dakota, it's an open seat, and Nebraska, it's an open seat. Unfortunately, Ben Nelson, having been the decisive vote for Obamacare, retired before we could pick him off. It's my everlasting regret. But in any case, we'll get the seat. And then you have a whole series of seats where we have very good shots at open seats and in races against incumbents. Virginia, George Allen is 4 points ahead of Tim Kaine, the Democratic candidate. Close race, open seat, but a very good shot. Florida, Bill Nelson, the other Nelson, senator from Florida, Democrat, is running very poorly. He's at 42% of the vote. Connie Mack, his likely Republican opponent, is also at 42. 42-42, that means Mack is going to beat him by 10 to 15 points. That'll be another pickup. In Missouri, Claire McCaskill, who needs beating because she's to the left of Obama, against Sarah Steelman, the probable Republican candidate, it's 46-45. So again, McCaskill under 50, very good chance of defeating her. New Mexico, I haven't seen any polling. I don't think there's been any. But Lieutenant Governor Heather Wilson is running for us, and we have a good shot at that. We picked up the governorship and a congressional seat there last year. Montana, Congressman Denny Rayburg, the Republican, is now 4 points ahead of the incumbent John Tester, 50-46. And 46 for Tester sure doesn't look good. That's an odd situation because the congressman is at large. He represents both represent the whole state. So that lead is pretty significant. In Wisconsin, there's an open seat, and Tommy Thompson, the former governor, the Republican likely nominee, is 8 points ahead of the likely Democratic candidate. That looks like a good pickup for us. In Ohio, Sherrod Brown, who is the single most liberal member of the Senate, according to his voting record, he's tied with Bernie Sanders, who's a socialist from Vermont. He's currently behind Josh Mandel, his Republican opponent. So I think we have a very good shot in Ohio as well. Michigan, Debbie Stabenow, who is such a rabid Democrat. I did a poll in Michigan just a few days ago, and Stabenow is leading Pete Hoekstra, the former Republican congressman, by only 46-42. And Hoekstra has much lower name recognition, and Stabenow is not over 50. That's a pickup that we could get. So when you add all that together, you have 10 seats. 10 seats. That would be 57 in the Senate. And there are 3 others that I'm looking at. We've got some very good candidates running in Pennsylvania, a guy named Tom Smith against Bob Casey, the incumbent, and I think Casey could be defeated. There's an open seat in Connecticut, which we have a shot at, and Manchin, who won by a hair last time, 2 years ago, is up for re-election, and John Racy, who gave him a very tough race last time, is running again. If we won all 3 of those, that could be as many as 60, the magic number. There are 2 seats we might lose with incumbent Republicans. One is Nevada, where there's an open seat, Ensign retired, and his successor is Dean Heller, who's a former Republican congressman. Heller is ahead by 5 points, so that looks all right. Massachusetts, Scott Brown, who performed the miracle of winning in 2010, is running about 8 points ahead now of Elizabeth Warren, his likely Democratic opponent. But it's Massachusetts out. It could go either way. Brown is at 50, which doesn't give him a lot of margin for error. But, you know, if stuff breaks right, and I think it will, I think we're winning the presidency by a lot, we could literally pick up as many as 60 seats. The sober bet would be 54-57. But that's enough to get anything we want passed, because you'll get there are a couple of votes there that will be scared to death, like Manchin, who'll probably vote with the Republicans. And we could go higher. So thanks a lot. Thanks for watching. Tomorrow, we'll assess the impact of the 2 primaries tonight, Michigan and Arizona. If Romney wins both of those, this could be it. Thanks a lot.